Hey everyone, so today I'm going to teach you about the quadratic formula. Now, the quadratic formula is used to find the solutions of a quadratic equation. So for example, on the right here, we've got a quadratic equation. Now, because it's quite a simple one, you could factor it, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to be using the quadratic formula. And the point is that sometimes you're going to have more complicated quadratic equations, so you won't be able to factorize them. So this is going to be really handy to find the solutions. So when I say the solutions to the equation, I mean the values of x. There will be two of them, two values of x, that make this equal 0. Now, as I said, this is a bit of an easier one, but you can imagine there's probably going to be really complex ones out there where the answer might be, x is equal to 0.1 and another solution is like 0.175. It can get a lot more complicated. So this is the quadratic formula. It has a plus or minus because there's two solutions, and x, so the solutions to the equation are equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And that's going to be where the coefficients are a, b, and c. So a is the coefficient or the number in front of the x squared. So in this case, that's 1. Now that could be a minus 1 if it's minus x squared. Could be a 3, could be a 2, could be anything. So the b is the coefficient, so the number in front of the x. In this case, it's a 5. And the c is the constant value. And in this case, it's equal to 6. But, it could also be equal to 0. So you could also have, you could be missing part of these, but it would still apply. Just the value, the corresponding value would be 0. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's start defining a, b, and c. So in this case, a is equal to 1, b is equal to 5, and c is equal to 6. So just to explain again why that is, the coefficient, so you've got a 1 in front of the x squared, so a is 1, b is the equivalent to the 5, and c is the equivalent to the 6. So you're basically just mapping it. Now we're going to sub these values into the quadratic formula. So I'll try and do it so you can still see me doing it, or maybe I'll stand on this side. So x is equal to minus 5. And remember, you could have like a minus minus. You just got to make sure that's a positive afterwards. But in this case, it's minus 5 plus or minus the square root 5 squared minus 4 times 1 times c, so 6. So that's going to be 24 divided by 2 times 1. Okay? So what you're going to want to do, in my opinion at least, is simplify this down a bit, and then you can get your two solutions. So x is equal to minus 5 plus or minus the square root of 25, because that's 5 times 5, that's 24, so minus 24 divided by 2. I'm going to have to move the camera down a bit actually. So from here, that is going to be equal to, so x is equal to minus 5 plus or minus, that's going to be square root of 1. 1 left, so we'll just call it 1 because the square root of 1 is 1, divided by 2. Okay? So the first solution, let's take the negative one, I guess. So x is equal to minus 5 negative 1 over 2. So that's going to be equal to minus 6 over 2. Is equal to minus 3. Okay, so that's our first solution. And you can actually test this by subbing it into this equation to see if it holds. That's how you know if your answer is correct. And the other solution is the positive one, so x is equal to minus 5 plus 1 over 2 equal to minus 4, because that's plus 1 over 2. So is equal to negative 2. Now, I will check these solutions afterwards. I'm going to assume it's correct. So you have your two solutions. So x is equal to -2 and x is equal to -3. And that is basically solved now, because when we put these in, and I will check it after, this should hold true and this should be equal to 0. So as I said before, with this one, you could probably just factorize it, because you would have, you know, what's that, 3 times 2, and you'd have a +3 plus 2. So you would have -2 and -3, you know, as solutions. And you can check out how to factorize. I'm pretty sure I have a video on my channel about that. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that's clear. I'll stand out away for a sec, and you can see this is the whole thing. So just to re-explain what I've done here, we've got the quadratic formula, we've got the equation or quadratic equation we want to solve. We've mapped the a, b, and c from here onto here. So you get those values here, and from there you just sub it in, simplify it a bit, and always remember you have two solutions. That's why you have the plus and minus. So that's the quadratic formula, and you can use it to work out more complex quadratic equations. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully it was clear. If you do have comments or questions, you can let me know. And if you've made it this far, thank you for watching the video, and best of luck with your maths.